Hi, my gorgeous Cancers. This is your astrology reading for October. Um, yeah, for the whole month of October. I'm sorry, I'm collecting just different information from Spirit all of a sudden. Anyway, before I get into any of that, well, actually, before I forget any of that, Spirit is saying you're going to be learning to speak your truth or coming into a new level of speaking your truth, self-expression, and honesty, but it's coming from some hidden self, some unconscious self, some depths of self that's been unconscious to you. And new details are coming up that's making you learn new parts of yourself that you didn't know before that now are coming into an importance of being able or needing to express. Anything else? Some spiritual wisdom, spiritual urges, but you're going to be dealing with some self-worth, value, self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, and letting go of some burdens or releasing some burdens and stubborn blame that you've held on to. Some inflexibility. Because you're learning to listen to the higher mind. More or less is what I'm getting for an overall is karmic lessons that you're overcoming. And learning to listen to your intuition or trust within your intuition, which is also going to be bringing you into a new level of your solar plexus. And the third and crown chakra. Something about them is going to be balancing or shifting. Are we done? Yeah, I think we're done. Okay. Like I said, this is a reading for all Cancer signs, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. I do want to make sure as I do astrology and I explain astrology, if you are following me and if you're just starting to follow me this first time you've ever watched any of the videos, I do explain from time to time. If you're following me for the Venus planet, for the planet of Venus and where it may be, if you're following me for the love under Venus, I'm not your girl. Go find someone else. And I'm not trying to even be rude. I'm just saying I know the way Spirit has me see it and understand it, and the way it works through me is it's all about sensitivity. Whether it's positive or negative, it's not about love when it comes through me, at least. So if you're looking for the Venus planet, Venus idea, the sign of, all of that to be working in the way of love, I'm not your girl. And I just like to make sure I throw that out there so I don't waste any of your time. With that being said, I am going to try to make the video into a half hour. So I'm going to try to put as much as possible as I can. Go through each and every one of the houses. But with us doing it that way, I pretty much have to just hit the more important situations for the month, instead of go over every single aspect and so forth along that line. I'm giving you, the highlights of the month, the important things for you to acknowledge to get you over the hump. And if you want your own personal, if you want to book your own private personal appointments that's more directed directly at you, you can always see all the information down below. Because if you're interested in a tarot reading, oracle rune, shamanic work, or astrology, you can see all that stuff down below. And you may want to also, check the playlist and see if you're interested in any of the tarot readings that I put out also. With that being said, like I said, I'm going to try to get as much of it as I can within within the half hour. And if it does look like I'm going to short you, then I'll do part 2. But I'm going to try to not have to do that. Now, first off, everybody's talking about Pluto going direct on the 3rd. Yeah, Pluto is going direct on the 3rd. However, Pluto is the only planet when it goes retrograde and then it goes back to direct, doesn't go back into an outward position. Pluto is always inward. So when it's in retrograde, it's kind of like kicking in the door going, I ain't taking this shit anymore. And once it goes back to direct, it starts to actually ease up. But it won't feel completely like it's easing up because you've got Saturn coming towards it, which still is in shadow as it just came out of retrograde. Things are moving forward. They're also moving forward a little bit slowly as they pick up their momentum and start moving. And remember, Saturn and Pluto are still going to be in shadow for a little bit. So while they're moving forward, they're actually addressing some darker aspects and making sure that that is being looked at first before they really truly get in their forward momentum. On the 3rd also, you have Mercury, which is moving into Scorpio. Now, this is Libra season right up until the 23rd when the sun moves into Scorpio. However, I am telling you, this feels more like a double Scorpio season because you've got everybody, all kinds of stuff going on at Scorpio this month. Now, the 3rd, Pluto goes direct. Mercury moves into Scorpio. The 4th, Mars moves into Libra. The 8th, Venus moves into Scorpio. The 13th, which is the full moon, and it takes place in Aries. I'm going to go over each one of these in the house when I get to them. I'm just giving you the flat lines right off the bat. The 23rd, the sun moves into Scorpio. The 27th, you have a new moon in Scorpio. Okay, and then on Halloween Day, Samhain, Mercury goes retrograde. And you're going to have a major power energy, not just because it's Samhain, but because you have the moon, Ceres, and Jupiter all like in within 3 degrees of alignment on Halloween Day. Going to bring in a whole new level of illumination with that. Now, like I said, everybody's saying that it's Libra season until the 23rd when the sun moves into Scorpio. But what they're not talking about is the fact how Maya is the collective consciousness, and it's there putting a whole new spin on Libra. So is Make, or Maki, however you pronounce it. And it's the level, it's the growth of the lotus flower. So these two are both in Libra during all of this time, and not many people are talking about it, which is kind of changing the way the Libra season is actually going, and all those energies that are being evaluated in Libra. Because the collective consciousness, the true collective consciousness, is expanding out past its normal level. You have Vista, which is also in retrograde, and I'll explain it when I get to it. Pallas, which is also in Scorpio, and Ura, which is also in Virgo. See, I go over a lot of things that many of the other astrologers do not. So it picks up different aspects. Now, for you, Cancer, your first house is yourself, your self-awareness, your physical body, your personality, your appearance, your identification, your very image, and your view of life. What's been going on here this whole year is the North Node has been in this very energy. The North Node is teaching you what you have to learn in order to move forward. So you've definitely been feeling new depths of self, new awarenesses of self, new identification and images and appearances, just views, not just of life, but of self and what that means to your actual life. And that's because the North Node has been in this sign trying to illuminate that self-awareness for you. And this is a good thing. However, it may be dealing with some, hidden aspects that may have been making it feel hard, but this is because it's helping you get to a bigger depth and truth of your own awareness, so that as everything else about you matures and grows, you know exactly who you are. So it's actually setting a brand new foundation and strengthening you from a core. So this is actually a good thing, even though while it's been doing it, may have been going through some very uncomfortable positions. Now, in your second house, which is your self-worth, your self-value, your self-esteem, and your money house. You don't have anything there. And that's technically not a good or a bad thing. It just means that you don't have anything working for you or against you. And I would say that, truthfully, that North Node energy, with it coming through, that influencing the self-worth, the self-awareness, the image, the identification of who you are, is kind of still picking up on that universal second house, because it's coming into a deeper depth of your very awareness, which is not going to be able to have a choice but to start acknowledging pieces of that self-worth, self-value, self-esteem. Now, these are things you've been noticing all year anyway, but now as they start to move away from those things, we're going to actually start to get into where the planets are and what's going on with these conversations. Because in your third house is Virgo. This is, for you, your messaging system. It's your transportation as well. It's your siblings. Not siblings. Well, yeah, it's your siblings. It's your neighbors, your short journeys. But it's mainly your communication system. Whether it's the way your brain works and you communicate versus phone calls, gossip, text messages, emails, intellect, details, ideas. Everything that has to do with communication. For you, Ura is here, right? Yeah, Ura is here. This is sacrificing commitment. This is making you realize that it's important for you to communicate properly what needs to be said to yourself as well as to the world around you if you want to see changes. However, this is also talking about the throat chakra. So this is not all about you communicating. This is also about you listening. Sacrificing commitment, the commitment it takes to make the communication of whatever it is you're trying to create so that you can actually bring it out of you and make these changes. But it's also going to be dealing with the way your routines are about how you approach a situation with communication, because the approach will definitely be making the difference in how that communication all takes part and what the energy is that's coming with that approach and how it works for you or against you, and acknowledging this. Now, as you move into the universal fourth house, this is Libra. You have the Sun and Mars here, and you have the Sun here until the 23rd. The universal fourth house is trying to illuminate for you your inner emotional security. It is your home. It's the house of the home. So, the home and the family and all of that. But typically when you're coming through me, it does deal with home, but it gets to even deeper, raw depth of your inner emotional security. It's the child within that is secure or isn't secure, and why. It's the roots of who and what you are, the true, real depth of self. It's the karmic lessons and the reincarnation that creates you to be who you are. The Sun is here again until the 23rd. So is Mars all month long. Mars is going to be speaking to you about that sacral chakra. That's the way I always see Mars, is the sacral chakra. It speaks to you as in the energies of your inner warrior, your inner SWAT team, but also your inner belly dancer. And when I say inner belly dancer, what I mean is like if you look in the mirror and you feel good about yourself, and you're like, yeah, I look good. You have that pep in your step. You feel good about yourself. That's having a sacral chakra that's feeling safe and secure with who and what you are. You enjoy who you are. You feel creative about who you are. You're ready to express yourself. Versus if you look in the mirror and you're like, oh, crap. We've all had those days. Come on now. There's a difference in not feeling as good about yourself, not feeling as sacred with yourself, not feeling as safe or as healthy or as, I don't want to say loving, but loved. And enjoying the person who you are and being able to be comfortable with that person. This is all speaking about where Mars is taking that passion, action, aggression, energy, according to what the Sun has been illuminating in your very inner emotional security, where it is showing you that it's there and where it is showing you that it's lacking. And what you need to do to get right with the roots and the true depths of self to reincarnate you, put a new foundation on your inner emotional security for the karmic lessons and the reincarnation to be created. Now, as you enter the 5th house, this is Scorpio. This is where we got a lot of Scorpio energy going on too. Don't forget, let me take you back to the 4th house. Like I said, Libra has the collective consciousness in it with the Sun and Mars. The collective consciousness, you're coming to a new depth of what that inner emotional security is, past an idea of what you always thought it was. You're coming into a brand new depth. You're digging much deeper because your collective consciousness is seeing a truth outside of yourself that you've never really seen before, within what creates inner emotional security, where you thought it was one thing, but now you're seeing it something else. And then it's asking you, where are you on that level of the lotus flower? Are you confused because you still feel like you're the seed that lives in a lotus flower grows in some nasty, junky water. It's a beautiful flower, but it grows in like a swamp. So do you believe that you are so stuck in the swamp that you can't find the light? And this is the collective consciousness that you're creating that has caused a problem for that inner emotional security? Or is it finally starting to reach up out of the swamp and being able to breathe and seeing a little bit of light if it looks up and the mud when it looks down? Or are you finally starting to stretch up past all of that and get up where the flowers are and be able to smell the bloom? This is what it's asking you. Where is your level of this collective consciousness of your inner emotional security? And why haven't you reached up to the bloom to smell it yet? This is what the sun is trying to illuminate. This is what the sacral chakra and that Mars energy is trying to help you find security within yourself, to believe in yourself, so that you're ready to reincarnate. Now as we go into that 5th house, this is Scorpio. You have Pallas here, you have Mercury here, and you have Venus here, and then you'll have the Sun after the 23rd. This is asking you, where do you get right with your play? Play. Enjoy your inner child, your creativity, your personality of fun. Where are you able to enjoy life and have a pursuit of pleasure? Are you able to play? Are you able to have fun and connect with that? Venus is here being sensitive in this energy. Mercury is here trying to communicate with the very reincarnation of it. Understand, Scorpio is life, death, and rebirth, but it's also the magic of it. The very wonder and the question of it, which goes with that creative child energy, is emotional healing waters. Pallas is here being able to help you strategically think your way through the emotional distress that you may feel, where it's keeping you from being able to get to enjoy your playtime. Because Mercury is going to go retrograde on the 31st on Halloween, which means typically mid-month, 14th, it's going to hit a shadow period in Scorpio. And it's going to start thinking of things from a darker aspect. And it's going to be looking at things of what is getting in the way of me having any enjoyment in life. What is keeping me from enjoying my life? What is keeping me from playing? What is keeping me from, my pursuit of pleasure, from my inner child and enjoying things? Mercury in shadow will be going from direct to shadow to retrograde. So it's going to be going through a confusion with a little bit of darkness. Venus is going to get attached to that energy and be sensitive about it. Pallas is your wise thinker here, going, logically, let's think this through. And how do we still connect with play? And that's going to be important because that's how you keep balance. And if you're keeping balance and you're able to connect with that, it's also bringing you back to your inner emotional security, which is that 4th house. Now, your 6th house is where Jupiter is and Ceres. This is your everyday daily task, your mundane tasks. This is where I always say your patterns are, your rituals are, but more importantly, it's the people, the places, and the things that you consume in these patterns and these rituals. The energies of them that you consume in these rituals. And are they actually able to support you getting right with your play and your inner emotional security to keep your balance? Are other people pushing you around in these routines and you're not being able to do what you want to do? Jupiter is going to be illuminating that throughout the month, and it's been illuminating it all year. But what's going to be changing is Ceres is getting ready to come right on top of it. Ceres is the threefold theory. She's the threefold theory. She's karmic energy, but she's also speaks to you about what you nurture or what you neglect. And then the moon is going to come right on top of that on these daily routines, patterns, and tasks, and the people, places, and things that you consume of their energy within these daily routines, and going to illuminate it all month long to if it's nurturing you or if it's nurturing who you are and what's good for you in your life with these routines and being able to find balance and enjoyment in life and help you connect with your inner emotional security, or if it's taking from it and it's actually making you neglect it. And it's going to be coming all the way full circle until Halloween Day, when it will illuminate the unconscious of what you have been ignoring. And I mean, I'm just saying, the moon will bring that unconscious forward come Halloween Day, if you have not already come to acknowledge it. The universal 7th house for you is Capricorn. This is your partners. This is your relationship zone. This is the marriage area. This is your spouses, your girlfriend, boyfriend. This is your relationships of love, family, even working environments, contracts, including enemies, your open enemies and stuff. Anything that you care about, you have a relationship with. I always say you have a relationship with your money. When you have no money, you know about your relationship with that lack of money. The universal 7th house for you is Capricorn, and is asking you, what kind of foundations do you want to build these relationships upon? And are you really paying attention to the relationships that you're building them upon? Because this is where Jupiter and Saturn are going direct, but they're still in shadow. They're asking you about the foundations, and are they proper? Because there's rules, walls, and boundaries that need to be shifted for the old to let go of and the new to begin, for a reincarnation, a new healthy rebirth in relationships for you all the way around. And are the relationships serving you? Are they healthy for you? Because this is also where you're having the South Node here. There's something about the rules, the walls, and the relationships, rules, walls, and boundaries within these relationships that you've gotten incredibly good at. But it's not good for you. It doesn't serve you. You've gotten good at this or that, but you're starting to realize that it's not working for you anymore. It's not healthy for you anymore. I'm not saying a relationship in general. I'm saying something about the rules, the walls, the boundaries that are set within them. Something needs to be shifted and tweaked so that it can become a whole new level of healthy for you, so that you can mature and grow. Now, Aquarius is the rules, the rules, the walls, the boundaries in the relationship itself. It's the joint finances. It is the joint finances, the joint resources, and the joint efforts. This for you is Aquarius. And there's nothing in Aquarius right now. But I'm telling you, the energies that are coming out of Capricorn is going to take it right on into that. It's going to marinate the 7th and 8th house, from the actual relationships to the responsibilities of the relationships, the rules, the walls, the boundaries, what is safe, what is not, what is healthy, what serves me, what doesn't, where are you crossing the line, and you need to know, like as a kid, I draw a line right here and you're not allowed to cross this side of the line. Where are you allowing people to cross the line and push you around? This is part of these relationships that you're going to be acknowledging, and where you've allowed them to push you around in these relationships, and you're starting to acknowledge that it doesn't serve you and you have to change it. These are all marinating together because of Jupiter and not Jupiter, because of Saturn and Pluto. And like I said, they're going to be illuminating some of those darker aspects that have to shift. So once they really get in that direct motion, they can really start to, penetrate the new changes that are going to come forward for you. You have the 9th house, which happens to be where Neptune is, and Lilith. Neptune is still in retrograde. This is your higher self. But this is all also the universal 12th house. So your higher self is kind of hiding in the shadows. Your higher self has a lot of subconscious hidden truths that you're having to dig out. And with these energies are popping up, it's like your skeletons in the closet that have skeletons in the closet. They're hiding your secrets, your sorrow, your shame, your blame, your grief, your self-sacrifice, and your self-sabotage, your hidden selves, where the skeletons have hidden more skeletons. And this is, like I said, this is your higher self hiding parts of its truths. Are you ready to find your truths? Because Neptune is going back in time and looking at things from the past and asking you, are we still going to look at the past, or are we going to look at the future? Neptune is funny that way. It's illusion and delusion. It's where fantasy smacks you in the face with harsh reality. It's like the video you're watching right now. At this point, you're watching the video and it seems like I'm talking to you and I'm telling you about, this and this and this. When in honesty, God only knows where I am in the world and what I'm doing. It's an illusion. You can only reach back into nostalgia and look at the idea and the memory, but that doesn't put you back in the moment, back in the place and the actual truth of what happened. That's only the way the memory is choosing to perceive it. There's lessons that can be learned there, but you can't go back into that moment and bring it forward. So it's asking you to learn the lessons and then take it forward. And Lilith here is your intersexual temptress, which is asking you to get right with what you're afraid to get right with. Okay, and that's some depth right there. Having the courage to get right with it and stand in your power, your inner sacral chakra. Be creative enough to know yourself, to allow and accept yourself to be who you are. And allow yourself to grow and stand firm in those truths of understanding where your true ethics and morals and spiritual urges, your higher self is. On a whole new level than you're used to understanding. Aries is where the full moon will take place on the 13th. This is your 10th house, your honor, your reputation, your prestige, your financial success, your financial and social foundations that create your responsibilities of the outer authority and community. Chiron's here with Eris, which I call Medusa, trouble, toil, strife, injustice. And Chiron is going, okay, trouble, toil, strife, and injustice. How and what do I got to do to heal you? To cure this situation, to figure out what is and is not curable, so that in the outer community, I can really work on that honor, that prestige, that professional career, and bring a new level of social and financial foundation down on you and help, you build and grow in that. What is the authority and the responsibilities going on that works with or against this? And are they supporting you? Do they need to shift and change? in order for Chiron to find that healing. It's also Aries, which is a brand new beginning point. This is a brand new time to come into a new level of soulfulness and that spirituality of yourself, bringing it into the outer community, and then finding the authority of yourself to be yourself, as well as helping it financially work for you. The 11th house with your community and your friends and your wishes and your memberships is talking to you about your independence, your individuality, your uniqueness, your freedom, your self-worth, your self-value, your self-esteem, connecting with the soul fire of who and what you are, because that's Vista in retrograde, the soul fire connecting with only who and what you are, and asking you if these people are the right people to help you connect with your dreams, your wishes, and your ambitions. And if they're not, then why are they still part of your community, your friendships, your groups, your memberships? And your universal 12th house, you're actually quite lucky. You don't have anything there outside of the North Star asking you, are you ready to plant the seeds of healing and make the shifts by coming to know the true karmic depths of yourself, your skeletons in the closet, and heal them? It's a good month, but there's definitely growth going on. I love you guys. Bye.